What is going on, y'all? I'm here to talk about the changes and buffs I've made for Hisuian Arcanine in my ROM hack. So before I get into explaining the ability choices, all the new moves, the BST, all this stuff that I would love to get into, I want to have a quick disclaimer for any. Okay, I thought the music paused, but anyway, I want to have a quick disclaimer for any new viewers who are, just clicking on this video for the first time. I recommend you pause the video and read the description. I've got a detailed guide, a bullet point guide, kind of explaining the spark notes of the ROM hack and the way it's balanced. So that'll answer a lot of your questions. Um, and then, yeah, just give you some important background information. So give that a little read. And then I've also, when you're done with the video, I've got other videos you can check out that explain things more. I have videos for every single Pokemon. And then I also have, most importantly, this move guide on the Google Sheet link down below, which is where I am sharing the screen from right now. All the Pokemon changes are on this sheet. Um, Most important thing is the move guide because the entire game revolves around moves, and the fact that all the moves are different changes how the Pokemon play. So give that all a read. It's very easy to understand, as you can see on screen. It's got categories. You click them, it takes you there. Very, very detailed and organized. So yeah, with all that being said, Arcanine. So both Arcanines are now two-stage pseudo legends. Every Pokemon in this game is going to be great, regardless if it's like a regular or a pseudo. Like it doesn't really. It's more of like a status or like a flex if anything. It's not really like a it's cool. Like it's a flavor choice if anything in some cases. Sometimes the extra stats will help, obviously. I mean, but it's not like this thing plays that much differently if it has its original BST versus the change stats. Especially with the, at least in this case, right? It's not huge. It's just the abilities and the moves that make the big difference for how this thing plays now. Um, so obviously they keep Rockhead. It's just now called Headstrong to fit more Pokemon other than like Rock types and other like hardened head Pokemon. So it fits other Pokemon now. Um, for example, like Squawkabilly, right? Doesn't make any sense for Rockhead, but it makes sense for Headstrong. Sturdy is their new ability that I added on. That's really cool because in a ROM hack where you only get one Focus Sash per boss fight because of item clause, it's really nice to have basically a second Focus Sash, and it can also be great to boost up your speed with like agility for free, right? Or even to get a free howl off, because just setup in general is much easier with sturdy, right? You can use like weakness policy, howl, extreme speed, or whatever. I don't know, or weakness policy, agility, sturdy. You have tons of weaknesses, right? So it's very easy to abuse weakness policy. Speaking of those weaknesses, people shit on Fire Rock a lot, and in a competitive setting, sure, I can understand it, I guess. But man, like people focus so much on the weaknesses, which like you can easily play around those. First of all, offensively, you can just kill a water type or a ground type or a fighting or rock type, right? And then defensively, you can just switch out or use like a defensive item. It's not that hard, air balloon, switch on a ground move, whatever. So many ways you can play around it. Intimidate helps you soak up like physical fighting and rock hits, even water. Water probably not, but yeah, physical rock and fighting you can soak up more with Intimidate. But the main thing I'm trying to get at here is that it has tons of resists, man. Like Fire Rock gets so much flack, and I get it. Again, I get it in a competitive setting, but in game, it's like just play around your strengths. Like you've got tons of weaknesses. Like it doesn't really not every fucking Pokemon's gonna have a water, rock, fighting, or ground move. It's just not really the case. And also pivoting, even just as a pivot, it's good, especially with Intimidate, right? You can abuse those resistances to pivot easier. So you can do like Intimidate, U-turn, you resist normal fighting, normal flying, bug, fairy, ice, poison, and 4 times to fire. So that's all really, really good. So yeah, and obviously Fire Rock is a great offensive combo too. Speaking of other Arcanines, so other normal Arcanine is now. How do I show this on screen without? Okay, I think I can actually just go to Arcanine here, and it should be on the sheet, just now without the stats, right? Yeah, so this is obviously very outdated. Like, I'm going to fix the format and stuff. It's all ugly because I haven't gotten here yet. But this is just to show you, like, the Fire Ice Arcanine on screen. If you don't know, I do have Fire Ice Arcanine as a normal Arcanine, and that will also be a 2-stage pseudo-legend, It's going to refrigerate extreme speed and other really cool stuff. Intimidate, Flash Fire, so yeah. Obviously, I'm not going to talk too much about regular Arcanine because it's not like it's a choice evolution. They're two separate evolutionary lines, so that's why I'm just not going to talk about it much. Growlithe, so they technically break the rules for pseudo legendary evolution levels. Normally, my rule is 2-stage pseudos evolve at level 40 and then 3-stage evolve at level 45, right? Which again, you can get a grasp for how these level caps work by looking at the boss fight guide here and seeing the level caps for all the game paths and stuff. I mean, they're all the same level caps, but yeah, just the bosses move around. Um, so what I'm trying to get at here is that the Growlithe is cheating, right? So it would technically have to evolve at level 40, but I figured make them a little unique. Like I think Arcanine's already like pretty unique in its own right. So I don't know, Growlithe evolving level 40 feels wrong, right? Could you use this thing until level 40? Sure. Is there even that many boss fights between level 35 and 40? Not really, no. It's one, two, three boss fights. It's literally only 3 boss fights. But I don't know. Vibes-wise, it just feels weird to evolve level 40 for me. Stuff like other ones like Golett make sense. And obviously tons of Duraludon, all those guys make perfect sense. But in Hisuian Growlithe's case, I don't know. It just feels too late for level 40. It's not like it's for balancing reasons it'd be evolving at level 40, right? It's not like Hisuian Arcanine balance-wise would be fine even as like a level 20 fucking 8 25 evolution. It's all just like flavor choices mostly. So yeah, because it's not like you get any crazy headstrong moves or high base power moves at level 25 anyway. They're actually much stronger Pokemon with stronger moves at that early game point. So with like boosting abilities, whatever. Point is though, Growlithe is great for its own right. It's got great solid bulk for early on and middle for the mid game. Still intimidate. It's always going to be good. I personally don't love using it because it kind of is risking crits. But I think just as long as you're not like spamming intimidate on every physical attacker on the sun, and you're just like cycling -6 attack, whatever, like complete overkill, then I think you're playing it wrong and you're risking crits way too much. But if you're just switching in once or twice, trying to just take a hit a little bit better, then I think it's fine to risk a couple crits. I mean, you're gonna have to, no matter what. But risking crits in a Nuzlocke is obviously life and death at times, so you have to be mindful of it always. You've got priority in the form of Pyro Dash, Accelerock, and Ignite. You've got Morning Sun for healing. You've got tons and tons of coverage that you can see on screen. So I even gave them some dragon moves because Arcanine's kind of like known for having like weird dragon moves for no reason. So I gave them Dragon Dance, which is pretty cool for late game. With Sturdy, right? Weakness Policy, Dragon Dance, Sturdy, that goes fucking hard. I actually didn't even cover that. That's like pretty crazy. You can even do like Endure stuff, but yeah. You've got tons of strong moves, so you've got your Flare Blitz and Strength being Rock-type Flare Blitz. You've got Head Smash, which is now 100% accurate, 140 power. The downside is that it deals 50% recoil and it drops your defenses, but obviously that massive 50% recoil is gone with Headstrong. So level 60, that's like the last 11 boss fights of the game or so. So you'll have, I think, 11 or 13, something like that, out of like the 50 in the game. So, the last like quarter of the game you'll have that Head Smash for, which is pretty great with, Scarf, Headstrong. The speed stat I chose to make them fast because, Arcanine's whole thing is like it runs agilely as it was on wings, and it, despite its bulk, this is Hisuian Arcanine specifically, despite its bulk, it deftly feints every which way. Leading opponents on a deceptively merry chase as it all but dances around them, which is, by the way, that's why I gave them Fiery Dance, which is inconsistent, and I would never use it to boost yourself, but it's fun for the AI to abuse against you, and it's a cool flavor move. It's the same power as like Heat Wave and Flamethrower, so it's not even any better. It just has that 50% chance to give you a special attack boost, which again is inconsistent, so I wouldn't bank on it ever, but it's cool for flavor. There was a point in time I was actually considering Serene Grace, Revelation Dance plus Fiery Dance over Sturdy, but I just am not a fan of how that plays. Like, it's just so boring. You're just doing Scarf for agility, and then you're just spamming the same move. It's very boring to me. And I don't know. It's cool to encourage the lower special attack usage, but I already did enough of that by giving them early special moves. So, for example, Burn Up, Blast Burn, in the mid 40s, level 40 and 44 is crazy. Those are really strong high base power moves, coming off of a very solid special attack stat. So they significantly, for example, Burn Up will significantly outdamage Blaze Kick at that point in the game, right? Significantly. Blast Burn significantly outdamages, probably even in some cases outdamages like Temper Flare, which Temper Flare and Stone Edge are Wicked Blow variants. So those are 80 power. Those can't be used twice in a row, so you can't spam Scarf, Temper Flare, or Stone Edge. What you can do is you can spam Scarf, Flare Blitz, and Strength and Head Smash, which is why those are later moves, right? On this guy, at least. And a lot of the time, if you're running speedy sets, you'll be running either a speed boosting item, remove, right, quick claw, choice scarf, whatever. Overheat is a special recoil move now instead of blast burn is now like overheat, right, where it's Draco Meteor variant. Well, overheat is recoil, so that's special flare blitz. So level 46 is very good. You could do some scarf overheat stuff in the mid 40s as well. And then once you hit 50, you get unlock like even more high power moves like the physical Draco Meteor variants, Blazing Assault and Rockpecker, both of which drop your attack by -2. Those are really strong. And again, the fact that you're a mixed attacker means you can use like a special attack dropping move and then use a physical one the next turn and get 2 kills in a row in theory. All that's really fun. Early game, Growlithe's got like Ancient Power for debuffing, Intimidate for debuffing, Dismal Cry, Disarming Voice, Mystical Fire. Mystical Fire and Ancient Power drop attack and special attack by -1. Same with the other moves I just listed. Hoodwink is good coverage, especially like, with Sturdy or Intimidate or Defiant versus like, hypothetically, I don't know, I mean, movie liner coverage is always useful, but especially like the fighting team star base on the reverse path at level 13, you get, you're weak to fighting, but you have that hoodwink, which is cool. Super effective hoodwink. So yeah, Arcane Fangs is cool. I think Terra Dragon would be pretty fun, just for like flavor. I don't know, it's a cool Terra type on them. I considered throwing Dragon Hammer on there for that Terra Dragon hypothetical if you got it, but I don't really see it on them, I'm not gonna lie, so I opted not to give it to him. Arcane Fangs is cool early on though. Little heal move, Stealth Rock is, just useful once in a while for breaking sashes and getting some free chip on the AI once in a while, but it's not as ubiquitous as it is for the AI, for the player. Sorry, as it is in competitive is what I'm trying to say. You also have Flame Wheel, which gives you +1 speed, which is incredible on this guy. I don't know how I didn't mention that yet, but yeah, Flame Wheel. I'm probably gonna have to end up nerfing these like Trailblaze, Flame Wheel type moves eventually because Quick Claw like weaken the opponent and either Quick Claw on a faster mon or just kill a slower Pokemon with Flame Wheel, after you finish them off with it, and now you're +1 speed and you can just spam whatever move you want to click, whatever coverage or strong base power move you want to click. So it is kind of broken, so I'll probably have to make those, nerf those at some point, either making them inaccurate, so you have to hold a wide lens, or some other drawback I think should be put in place there that I'll probably put in eventually, I don't know. But yeah. E-Speed is kind of meh. I mean, it is stronger than Power Dash and Accelerock with that, but it's not super effective against anything. And with Movie Liner being super effective is really easy to just slap on once in a while. But E-Speed is cool if you get Terra Normal, if you RNG Terra Normal. Also, if you Terra Normal RNG, then you get Double Edge early on. That's 125 base power. It's even stronger than the other recoil moves. Because it's normal type, I made like Giga Impact, Hyper Beam, Double Edge stronger than the Draco Meteor and recoil variants. So yeah, Double Edge at level 35 is very strong if you get Terra Normal. Even without it, it's useful at 25 to 35, which is why I made it so early. So you can actually get some usage with Headstrong Double Edge for a little bit, maybe. It's like decent. I mean, Rock Slide and Blaze Kick are both 95 with no drawbacks, which are stronger physical moves with Stab, right? 95 times 1.5 is, yeah, well, it's 142, well over 125. But, once in a while it might be useful to have that early Double Edge. That's pretty much it, man. Pretty much it. Headlong Lash is cool, just nice little coverage. You also got your Earthquake, your Earth Power. Howl's whatever. I mean, it's cool with Sturdy, but I would probably prefer Dragon Dance or Flame Wheel Sturdy or something like that, right, to boost your speed, because I think boosting speed is way more important than boosting offense. But, if you got Terra Normal, then Howl goes crazy with E-Speed, with Sturdy, Weakness Policy, and also just any priority, like Sturdy, Weakness Policy, Power Dash, Accelerock, your Fire Rock priority there, that's pretty good. So you could definitely take advantage of it. Special coverage, it's got some cool stuff like Aura Sphere, already covered Earth Power, so stuff like that. Will-O-Wisp, burn up, that kind of stuff for guaranteed burns. Good utility there. Battle Cry is also great with Intimidate. Battle Cry drops attack and special attack by -2, so that's great with Intimidate. Yeah, versatile abilities. So that's pretty much it. Thank you for listening. Let me know if you made it to the end of the video. And I'll be back for more coming up, y'all. Peace.